You are not here by accident. The very fact that you are alive at this moment in this place with the experiences you've had is not a coincidence. There is a divine purpose behind your existence, a calling that has been placed upon your life long before you took your first breath. You may have questioned your purpose, wondered if your life truly matters, or doubted whether you have any meaningful role to play in this vast world. But let me assure you, there is no randomness in the hands that created you. Every detail of your being, your strengths, your struggles, and even your failures have been woven together for something greater than you can imagine. It is easy to feel insignificant in a world of billions, to believe that your life is just another existence in the grand scheme of things. But if you look closely, you will see that the universe operates with precision, order, and intentionality. The rising of the sun, the changing of the seasons, the complexity of life itself all point to a creator who does nothing without purpose. And if the stars are carefully placed, if the oceans have boundaries, if every creature has a reason for being, how much more intentional must be the life of a human being made with intellect, emotion, and the ability to change the world. There are moments in life when we face hardships, loss, and disappointments that make us question whether we truly matter. The world can sometimes seem indifferent, and we may feel unseen and unheard. But even in those moments, there is a greater plan at work. Sometimes the very struggles we endure are shaping us for the purpose we were meant to fulfill. The challenges we face are not meant to break us, but to build us, strengthening our character, our faith, and our resilience. What may seem like a setback today is often a setup for something far greater in the future. Throughout history, countless individuals have questioned their worth and purpose, yet they were destined for greatness. Many of the world's most influential figures, leaders, thinkers, and visionaries started as ordinary people with doubts, insecurities, and failures. But what set them apart was their willingness to believe that they were created for something more. They chose to embrace their calling, even when the path was unclear. The same is true for you. You may not see the full picture now, but that does not mean there isn't a masterpiece being created. Your unique abilities, passions, and even your past experiences, both good and bad, are all pieces of a grand design. No one else in the world has lived your exact life, seen through your eyes, or walked your path. That means there is something only you can do, someone only you can reach, and a difference only you can make. If you ever doubt that you have a purpose, consider this: every moment of your life, every experience has been shaping you into the person you are today. Nothing has been wasted. But knowing that you are not here by accident is not enough. You must also embrace it. You must make the choice to step into the calling set before you. It is easy to ignore it, to remain comfortable, to allow fear and doubt to keep you from moving forward. But you are not created for a life of aimlessness. You were not placed here to simply exist. There is something greater awaiting you, but it requires faith, action, and the willingness to step into the unknown. There may be voices, both internal and external, that try to convince you otherwise. Thoughts of inadequacy, fears of failure, and the weight of past mistakes may whisper that you are not good enough. But the truth is, those who are called are not always the strongest, the most talented, or the most qualified. In fact, history has shown that it is often the least likely individuals who are chosen for the greatest purposes. The difference lies in their willingness to say yes, to believe that they were made for something beyond themselves, and to trust that they are being led towards something extraordinary. You have been placed in this time, in this generation, for a reason. There are people you are meant to impact, lessons you are meant to learn, and a legacy you are meant to leave. Your life is not an accident, and your journey is not random. Every moment you have lived, every tear you have shed, every joy you have experienced, it all matters. There is a divine plan at work, and you are an essential part of it. So do not let doubt steal your destiny. Do not let fear keep you from moving forward. You were created with purpose, for a purpose. You are not just one among many. You are a vital piece of a much greater story. Your life matters. Your existence is intentional, and the world needs what only you can bring. You are chosen. Deep within every person is a longing for something greater, a desire to know that their life holds meaning beyond the ordinary routines of daily existence. That longing is not an accident. It is the imprint of a higher calling. You were not created merely to exist, to go through the motions, or to settle for a life of mediocrity. You were made for something greater, something significant, something divine. A higher purpose awaits you, and whether you realize it or not, your life is already moving toward it. It is easy to become consumed by the distractions of life responsibilities, struggles, and uncertainties that make it seem as though there is no greater plan. But beneath the surface of everything you experience, there is a purpose being revealed step by step. Even when you cannot see it clearly, even when the path seems hidden, that purpose remains. Sometimes it takes time for it to unfold. Sometimes it takes challenges and setbacks to push you toward discovering it. But make no mistake, your life is not random and your existence is not meaningless. You were created for something that matters. Many people spend their lives searching for meaning, trying to find fulfillment and success, wealth, recognition, or pleasure, only to realize that these things do not truly satisfy. That is because the deepest longings of the soul cannot be met by temporary achievements. True fulfillment comes when you step into the purpose for which you were created. When you align yourself with that higher calling, your life takes on a new depth, a new energy, and a new sense of direction. It is not just about what you do, it is about who you are meant to be. You may wonder, how do I know what my purpose is? The answer begins with recognizing that you are not alone in this journey. The same divine power that created you has also placed within you the gifts, passions, and abilities needed to fulfill your purpose. The things that stir your heart, the causes that ignite a fire within you, the skills and talents you have been given, these are all clues to the higher purpose that awaits you. Often the very struggles you have faced in life are preparing you to help others who will walk the same path. Your experiences, both good and bad, are shaping you for something greater. One of the greatest obstacles to stepping into your higher purpose is fear of failure, fear of the unknown, fear of not being good enough. But fear is only an illusion designed to keep you from your destiny. If you let it control you, you will remain stuck in a life that falls short of what was meant for you. But if you choose to push past fear, to trust that you were created for more, you will begin to see doors open that you never imagined possible. There will always be reasons to stay where you are, to remain in comfort, to avoid taking risks. But purpose is not found in comfort. It is found in stepping out in faith and embracing challenges and allowing yourself to be stretched and shaped into who you were meant to be. The higher calling on your life requires you to rise above limitations, to silence the doubts, and to walk forward even when the path is unclear. Those who embrace their purpose do not always have all the answers. They simply have the courage to take the next step. Perhaps you feel unworthy, as though your past disqualifies you from having a purpose. But your past does not define your future. If anything, it equips you. Every mistake, every failure, every hardship has the potential to be transformed into something meaningful. The very things you thought would break you may be the things that strengthen you for the mission ahead. Nothing in your life is wasted when you surrender it to a higher purpose. You were not placed in this world by accident. You are part of a divine plan that is unfolding with each passing day. There are people you are meant to influence, lives you are meant to touch, and a difference you are meant to make. Even when you feel small, even when the road ahead seems uncertain, know this: you are meant for more. You were not designed to live a life of insignificance. There is greatness within you waiting to be awakened. But purpose is not something that simply falls into your lap. It is something you must choose to embrace. You must be willing to seek it, to listen, to follow where you are being led. The journey may not always be easy, but it will be worth it. When you walk in your purpose, you will find a joy, a fulfillment, and a peace that nothing else in this world can provide. No amount of success, fame, or material wealth can compare to the satisfaction of knowing that you are living out the reason for which you were created. A higher purpose awaits you. It is calling you forward, inviting you to step into a life that is richer, deeper, and more meaningful than you have ever known. Do not ignore it. Do not let fear hold you back. You were made for something more, and the time to embrace it is now. Doubt and fear are two of the greatest barriers that keep people from stepping into their true purpose. They whisper lies, telling you that you are not good enough, not strong enough, not capable enough. They magnify your weaknesses and replay your past failures, making you believe that you are unworthy of the calling placed upon your life. But the truth is, doubt and fear are nothing more than illusions that try to keep you from fulfilling the very reason you were created. Overcoming them is not just an option, it is necessary for stepping into the life that awaits you. Everyone at some point experiences doubt. It is human nature to question whether you have what it takes, whether you are truly equipped for the road ahead. You may wonder if you are making the right decisions or if you are walking in the right direction. But doubt does not mean you are unworthy or incapable. It simply means you are at the edge of something important. It means you are standing at the threshold of growth, facing a door that leads to something greater. The key is to not let doubt paralyze you. Instead, use it as a sign that you are stepping into new territory, that you are stretching beyond your comfort zone, which is exactly where growth happens. Fear works in a similar way. It tries to convince you that stepping forward is too risky, that failure is inevitable, that others will judge you. Fear thrives on uncertainty, making you believe that the unknown is dangerous. But in reality, the unknown is where possibilities exist. Everything great that has ever been accomplished in this world was done by someone who chose to move forward despite their fear. Fear does not disappear on its own. It loses its power only when you refuse to listen to it, when you choose to act in faith instead. One of the greatest lies that fear tells is that you have to wait until you feel ready. Many people delay stepping into their calling because they are waiting for a moment of perfect confidence, waiting until they have all the answers, waiting until they feel completely prepared. But that moment rarely comes. If you wait until you feel no fear at all, you may wait forever. The truth is, the courage to act comes after you take the first step, not before. The more you push through fear, the weaker it becomes. The more you challenge doubt, the quieter it gets. History is filled with people who faced fear and doubt, yet still chose to move forward. They were not superhuman. They simply refused to let fear define their actions. Many of the most successful individuals once questioned whether they were good enough. Many of the greatest leaders once felt unqualified. Many of the most influential voices once feared speaking up. What made the difference was their willingness to act in spite of their fear. They understood that courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to move forward regardless of it. If you are struggling with doubt, remind yourself that you have already overcome so much in your life. Look back at the challenges you once thought were impossible, the moments you feared you would not survive, and yet here you are. You are stronger than you think. The same strength that carried you through the past will carry you forward into the future. Your past victories, no matter how small, are proof that you are capable of facing what lies ahead. Fear often exaggerates the risks and downplays the rewards. It tells you that failure is final, that making mistakes will ruin everything. But the truth is, failure is not the end, it is a part of the journey. Every great accomplishment is built on a foundation of setbacks, learning, and perseverance. The only real failure is refusing to try at all. When you understand that mistakes are not the enemy but stepping stones to growth, fear loses its grip. You no longer see obstacles as reasons to stop, but as opportunities to learn and improve. Overcoming doubt and fear does not mean you will never feel them in. They may still arise, but they will no longer control your actions. You will begin to recognize them for what they are: temporary feelings, not absolute truths. When doubt tells you that you are not good enough, remind yourself of the purpose placed within you. When fear tells you that you cannot do it, remind yourself of all the times you already have. When uncertainty tries to stop you, remind yourself that the greatest adventures, the most meaningful journeys, all begin with a single step into the unknown. You were not created to live in the shadow of fear. You were not meant to be held back by doubt. You were made to step forward in confidence, to embrace the calling that is uniquely yours. The world needs what you have to offer, and the only way to fulfill that purpose is to silence the voices that try to convince you otherwise. The choice is yours. Will you let fear and doubt hold you back, or will you rise above them and step into the life that was meant for you? The moment you decide that fear and doubt no longer have power over you is the moment everything changes. You do not need to have all the answers. You do not need to feel completely ready. You simply need to take that first step, because on the other side of fear, on the other side of doubts, is the life you were meant to live. Faith and obedience are the keys that unlock the door to your destiny. No great purpose is fulfilled without them. They are not just religious concepts or abstract ideas. They are the foundation upon which lives are transformed, callings are fulfilled, and history is made. Without faith, we remain trapped in fear, doubt, and hesitation. Without obedience, we miss out on the opportunities that have been prepared for us. Together, faith and obedience lead us into the life we were meant to live. Faith is the ability to trust in something greater than what we can see. It is believing that there is a plan for our lives, even when the path ahead is unclear. Many people struggle with faith because they want certainty. They want every detail laid out before they take a step forward. But that is not how faith works. Faith requires stepping out before you have all the answers, trusting that the way will be made clear as you move forward. It is knowing that you do not have to understand everything to take action. You simply need to trust that there is a purpose for every step you take. Faith is not about ignoring reality or pretending that challenges do not exist. It is about believing that no obstacle is greater than the purpose placed within you. It is easy to have faith when everything is going well, but true faith is tested in times of uncertainty, difficulty, and struggle. When life becomes difficult, when doors seem closed, when nothing seems to be going according to plan, that is when faith matters most. It is in those moments that you must choose to believe that the journey is not over, that your destiny is still unfolding, and that what seems impossible today will make sense in the future. Faith alone, however, is not enough. Faith must be followed by obedience. Obedience means taking action even when it is difficult, even when it does not make sense, and even when it requires sacrifice. Many people have faith in their hearts. They believe in a greater plan. They know they are called to something more, but they never take the steps necessary to fulfill it. They wait for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, the perfect set of circumstances. But obedience means moving forward now, not later. It means trusting that each step of obedience brings you closer to your purpose, even if you cannot see the full picture yet. Obedience often requires stepping outside of comfort zones. It requires saying yes when everything inside you wants to say no. It means surrendering control and allowing yourself to be led even when you do not understand where you are going. There are times when obedience will not feel convenient. There are times when it will not align with your own plans or desires, but obedience is not about convenience, it is about commitment. It is about recognizing that there is something greater than yourself at work and that the only way to step into your destiny is to trust the process. One of the greatest struggles with obedience is that it often requires patience. Many people expect immediate results when they take a step of faith. They believe that the moment they act in obedience, everything will fall into place instantly. But destiny is not unlocked in a single moment. It unfolds over time. There will be seasons of waiting, seasons of uncertainty, seasons where it feels like nothing is happening. But obedience means staying the course, even when you do not see results right away. It means trusting that every act of faith, every step forward is leading you exactly where you need to be. Faith and obedience go hand in hand. You cannot have one without the other. Faith without obedience is just wishful thinking. It is believing in something but never acting on it. Obedience without faith is just empty action, doing things without a deeper purpose or belief. But when faith and obedience come together, they create unstoppable momentum. They open doors that seemed impossible to open. They make a way where there was no way. They transform ordinary lives into extraordinary ones. Many of the greatest figures in history were not the most talented, the most educated, or the most powerful. They were simply people who had faith in their calling and obeyed, even when it was difficult. They were willing to take risks, to step into the unknown, to trust that they were being led towards something greater. They understood that faith and obedience were not just ideas, they were the keys that unlocked their destiny. Your life is no different. The same principles apply to you. Your destiny is waiting, but it requires something from you. It requires you to believe in the purpose placed within you and to take the steps necessary to fulfill it. It requires you to move forward even when you feel unqualified. It requires you to trust even when the way is unclear. It requires you to say yes even when fear tries to hold you back. So the question is, will you step into your destiny? Will you choose faith over fear? Will you choose obedience over hesitation? The door is already there waiting to be unlocked. The key is in your hands. Faith and obedience are the only things standing between you and the life you were created for. The choice is yours. Will you step forward? Challenges are not obstacles meant to stop you. They are part of the journey toward fulfilling your purpose. No one who has ever accomplished anything meaningful in life has done so without facing struggles, setbacks, and difficulties. These challenges are not a sign that you are on the wrong path. Rather, they are an indication that you are moving forward. They refine you, strengthen you, and prepare you for what lies ahead. Without challenges, there is no growth. Without struggle, there is no transformation. Many people believe that if they are truly following their calling, the road should be easy, doors should open effortlessly, and success should come without resistance. But the truth is, anything of great value requires perseverance. Challenges test your commitment, your faith, and your resilience. They force you to dig deeper, to push beyond limitations, and to develop the strength necessary to sustain the life you are meant to live. A life without challenges would be a life without growth. And growth is essential to fulfilling your destiny. Often challenges reveal what is inside of us. When everything is going well, it is easy to feel confident and strong. But when difficulties arise, our true character is revealed. Will you give up when things get tough, or will you press forward? Will you allow setbacks to define you, or will you use them as fuel to propel you forward? Every challenge presents a choice. You can either let it break you or you can let it build you. The choice is yours. Some of the greatest breakthroughs come in the midst of the hardest struggles. It is often in our weakest moments that we discover our greatest strength. When you face challenges, you are given an opportunity to develop perseverance, patience, and wisdom. You learn lessons that you would never learn in times of ease. You become stronger, wiser, and more prepared for the next phase of your journey. What seems like a roadblock today may actually be the very thing that shapes you into the person you need to become for the future that awaits you. Every great success story is filled with moments of difficulty, rejection, failure, and hardship. The difference between those who succeed and those who give up is not the absence of challenges. It is the decision to keep going despite them. It is the willingness to stand firm when everything seems to be falling apart. It is the belief that even in the midst of struggle, something greater is being prepared. Sometimes challenges are not just external, they are internal. Fear, self-doubt, insecurity, and uncertainty can be just as difficult to overcome as external obstacles. Many people give up on their dreams not because of what is happening around them, but because of what is happening inside them. They allow their fears to convince them that they are not capable. They let doubt stop them before they even begin. But the greatest battles are often fought in the mind, and victory comes when you choose to believe in your purpose despite your fears. There will be moments when you feel like giving up, when the weight of the journey feels too heavy to carry. But in those moments, remind yourself why you started. Remind yourself that every challenge is temporary, but the reward of perseverance is lasting. Remind yourself that you have overcome difficulties before and you will overcome them again. Strength is not developed in comfort, it is built through adversity. Challenges are not meant to destroy you, they are meant to shape you. They are part of the process of becoming the person you were created to be. Do not resist them, embrace them, learn from them, grow through them, let them refine you. Because when you look back, you will see that every challenge was not a setback, but a stepping stone leading you to where you were always meant to be. Your life has a greater impact than you realize. Every action, every word, and every decision you make influences the world around you in ways you may never fully see. Many people go through life believing that their contributions are small, that their existence does not matter on a grand scale, but this could not be further from the truth. You are shaping lives whether you recognize it or not. Your presence, your kindness, your courage, and your persistence have the power to change the course of someone's life. Too often, people underestimate their significance because they compare themselves to others. They believe that unless they are famous, wealthy, or in a position of authority, their influence is limited. But true impact is not measured by titles, recognition, or public applause. It is measured by the lives you touch, the encouragement you offer, and the love you give. Some of the greatest influencers in history were not known in their time, Their work, their words, and their actions created ripples that continued long after they were gone. The small things you do every day contribute to something much bigger. A simple smile, a kind word, a moment of encouragement, these things can change a person's day and sometimes even their life. You may never know the full extent of the impact you have, but that does not mean it is not real. The words you speak may be exactly what someone needs to hear to keep going. The way you handle challenges may inspire someone else to face their own struggles with courage. The choices you make may set an example for those watching you, even if they never tell you. Your struggles too have an impact. When you persevere through hardships, when you refuse to give up despite difficulties, when you continue to move forward even when things seem impossible, you are setting an example for others. People notice more than you think. Your ability to keep going through challenges may be the encouragement someone else needs to keep going through their own. Your pain, your journey, your victories, they are not just for you. They are for those who will be inspired by your story, even if you never realize they are watching. There are people whose lives you have already changed without knowing. A word you said years ago may still be echoing in someone's mind today. A gesture of kindness you forgot about may have meant the world to someone else. A decision you made to do the right thing, even when it was hard, may have given someone else the courage to do the same. Every action creates a ripple effect, reaching further than you can imagine. Sometimes the impact of your life is revealed in ways you never expected. A conversation you had, a lesson you taught, a moment of generosity, these things can influence people long after you have moved on. You may not always get to see the results, but that does not mean they are not happening. Many times the seeds you plant take years to grow, but they do grow. If you ever feel like your life does not matter, remember that impact is not always visible. It is not always something you can measure in numbers or achievements. It is found in the relationships you build, the kindness you show, the encouragement you give, and the faith you live out. It is found in the lives you touch, even in ways you may never fully understand. Never doubt the influence you have. Never believe the lie that your presence does not matter. Your life has meaning, your words have power, your words make a difference. Keep going, keep loving, keep giving, keep believing, because your impact is far greater than you think.